the most famous and most expensive among all the known and expensive Turkish paintings. This is the Tortoise Trainer. If you want, it's like Turkey's own Mona Lisa, or even better, Russia's Morning in a pine forest. These paintings are known by every school child. Not only that, the story of how the Tortoise Trainer was discovered is extraordinary, but at the center of this story lies friendship, love, bankruptcies, and even murder. Intrigued? You're on the Dosave Art channel. Make yourself comfortable. Today, I will tell the story of the most recognizable painting of Turkey. The author of the painting, Osman Hamdi Bey, was the first Turkish archaeologist. He was one of the pioneers of modern Turkish museology and the founder of the Istanbul Archaeological Museum. He is the one who discovered the world-famous sarcophagus of Alexander the Great and brought it to Istanbul. Osman Hamdi Bey practiced painting as a hobby, not as a profession, and he gifted his paintings to relatives and friends. First exhibited in Paris at the 1906 Salon, the painting The Tamer of Turtles somehow ended up in the collection of the famous Turkish collector, ship owner, and millionaire Saim Burkak. The painting remained in his possession until 1961. The story of the owner himself ended sadly. The media discreetly hint at his exclusively bachelor life. They said he adopted an adult man. He gave him an education abroad, and to whom he wanted to leave all his property, and who he shot during an argument at a shipyard in the center of Istanbul. As a result, in 1959, he ended up in prison, and his solitary home stood locked and sealed. In early 1960, Professor of History Mustafa Caesar, while conducting research, learned about the existence of more than 40 paintings of high historical and artistic value in the sealed house. However, the owner of the house was serving a prison sentence for the murder he had committed. The professor had to visit the prison and obtain permission from the owner to photograph the paintings. The sealed door was opened in the presence of a judge. The lights were turned on, and through the dust, they revealed a magnificent treasure. 40 paintings were discovered, 5 of which belonged to Osman Hamdi Bey, including the Tortoise Trainer. The paintings were photographed, and the mansion door was sealed once again. The millionaire murderer Saim Burkak died a few years later, and a long process of dividing his inheritance began, during which, 20 years later, the Tortoise Trainer ended up being sold to the banker and media magnate Erol Aksoy. More time passed, and in 2004, the painting was once again put up for auction. A fierce bidding war took place between two recently established museums, the Istanbul Museum of Modern Art and the Pera Museum.
Tablo tam 5 trilyon liraya alıcı buldu.
The price soared to an astounding $3.5 million. Even the auctioneers hadn't anticipated such a high figure. Thus, the Pera Museum became the new owner of the Tortoise Trainer. Today, in Turkey, the painting is known by everyone. It can be seen in TV series and cartoons, on souvenirs and puzzles, with its reproductions adorning cafes and hotels. But what is the painting actually about? Why is the tamer training turtles? And, in fact, is it even about training at all? The tamer, the trainer, the educator of turtles. An unruly turtle, that's quite something. But a trained one, well, that's more manageable. Of course, they weren't expected to jump through flaming hoops. But the turtles had to be able to do something else to entertain the inhabitants and guests of the Sultan's palace. It is claimed that the old man in the painting is none other than Osman Hamdi Bey himself, which would make the painting a pure allegory. Due to his involvement in state affairs, the artist compared the people under his command to sluggish turtles. Another interpretation suggests that the 5 turtles at the feet of the educator symbolize a stubborn and slowly changing society. Osman Hamdi Bey spent his life trying to civilize a backward society, opening and developing various museums. But in the end, he grew weary and lost hope. Finally, thirdly, the tamer of turtles was painted about the training of turtles. At the court of the Ottoman sultans, there really was such a position. But why? Imagine a night park, fragrant with flowers and illuminated by moving lights. Hundreds of candles attached to the shells of turtles, slowly walking through the garden. That's what they were trained for. Did you imagine it? I would love to see the result of such training, because it must have been mystically magical. You've been watching the DoSave Art channel. That's the story. I hope you enjoyed it and that I've earned your like. That's all for now. Bye.